Hello, everyone. I'm David. I'm a target individual, and I'm here with Renard. He's a U.S. He's a veteran from the U.S. Air Force, and he's also targeted and been targeted for five years, maybe even longer. And I might have already said that. If so, I apologize. So, Renard, could you tell me what life was like before your targeting and what it's like now?
Man, my life has taken a strange turn ever since 2020. I was I became overtly gang stalked during COVID, and I seen signs of it as early as 2015. I would get these strange people coming knocking on my door in New York about religion and stuff, trying to talk to me about church or Jehovah Witness type door knocks. I realized that some kids in New York were gang stalking me. On this playground I used to go to, they used to send these kids out there, and they used to always try to be my friend, and I just didn't want to really be these kids' friends because they were just kids. I'm a 30-year-old man. What I look like hanging out with kids. But I noticed that when I was going to school in New York is when I had these perp classmates, these people who basically were only in the class because I was there. And it just ended up with me getting suspended from school for getting into it with these people who I didn't realize were really only there to trip me up.
Right.
And I was spending my GI Bill. I was going to school with my GI Bill in New York. I was trying to start my life over because my life, I didn't realize that the gang stalking is why I had basically fell off from what I was doing after I left the military. I was working and doing stand-up comedy and acting in New Orleans, and I was being very successful with this. And I just noticed that I started losing motivation to do what I was doing. My motivation started to go down, and I was smoking weed at the time too. So I thought it was really, more so the weed than anything. But I found out once I started hearing the voice to skull type things were happening when I left New Orleans and I went to New York. And that's when I started realizing, yo, there's something going on with me other than just the normal feeling of not wanting to do what you were doing. So it took me years of just going through these strange occurrences with neighbors, strange occurrences with people that I didn't know in public. Um, I even had teachers when I first dropped out of school, when I left after the first semester of school in New York. I, I ran into a teacher at the store, and I didn't. I really thought that teacher had followed me to the store, but I was just like, man, I'm tripping. There's no way, man. I ain't worried about this. And little did I know that there was a campaign on the campus to keep track of this one guy, me.
Right.
So it took years of a whole lot of strange instances with family, and it really became clear with my family because my sister basically stopped me from talking to my nephews and nieces um, after after the Christmas of 2021. I've told you about this. I spoke to my nephew on a live stream, and my nephew was putting his hand on top of his head repeatedly. He kept putting his hand on top of his head, and I noticed that that was something that was being done by the people who were doing the gang stalking, the organized stalking. And that was the first hint that I got that my family had been brought into this.
Right. But
And I had
before your life was normal though, right? You was a normal everyday person, life of the party. What kind of person were you before? Like life was good?
Yeah, I was outgoing. I was always busy. I was always just on the go, always trying to get money and really doing my thing. And I cared. I have kids. I got kids, bro. I got two sons. I got
Wow.
twin sons that me and their mother, I believe she was a honeypot. She was only there to bring me down. And everything that has happened since those kids were born has basically been proof that she was never there to lift me up. She's only been there to bring me down. So the smear campaign, this shit started so long before I was realized that I was being gang stalked. And what's happening today is the result of like a 10-year smear campaign at the very least. Like
Yeah,
I
because they
got run,
profile you extensively before they start their overt um
right.
methods. They got you profiled. They know everything you do, every contact in your phone, everything.
And man, I've done so many things to draw these people out because I had a suspicion that I was under some type of surveillance that I didn't understand how they were doing it. I've done things and said things that I knew was supposed to get a reaction some kind of way. And little did I know, I did get a lot of reactions to a lot of things that I have said and done by myself. And just even recently when this guy pulled a knife on me at the apartment complex here, it was because of something that I said by myself. I said, I'm gonna kill one of these fucking perps. You say that shit a lot to yourself when you're going through this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill one of these motherfuckers. And you see people reacting to what you said, even though you didn't say it to anybody. So my perps have been they've been told to basically let me know that they're stalking me, and then I won't be able to prove it. Even though I have recorded these people talking to me, I have evidence of thermal imaging being used on me that I did send to you.
Oh, I can upload that real quick and show too. My bad. I'm slipping on that one. You can keep
Yeah,
talking.
they've been using thermal imaging on me in my apartment. I caught them doing that. Um, when I was in California, man, the energy weapons had me so hot in my apartment, bro, that I thought I was gonna die, and I didn't really know how they were doing it to me with the energy weapons, but it was just extra hot in my apartment all the fucking time.
Yep. And
And
then you sweat
these
all the
people,
time.
yeah, I was sweating a lot in California in my apartment, man, and I wasn't feeling the pinpricks or the skin presses like I feel now. It was just being hot. It looks like it takes a long time for them to get the technology tuned into your body or something like that.
Right. Do you ever get tinnitus in your ears or ringing or popping in your ears?
Yeah, definitely, man. That's what makes me think that I either have some type of deep implanted tiny device in my ear, and I just had an MRI recently and it didn't show anything. I've had suspicion that I either have a tooth implant, some type of device that they used as a filling,
Right.
or something in my ear. But I'm not 100% sure. Other than that, the only thing that it could be is remote neural monitoring. And these people are able to hear me on their phones. I heard that they can hear everything I say from a phone, man. Like some kind of app they got on the phone, they can hear what I'm saying in real time.
Yep. Yeah, they can I they can hear in the house. People think they need cameras in your house and stuff like that. They don't need that. The technology is so advanced, they can tune into anything. They can listen through your TV, your computer. They can hack into any device and listen to you.
Yeah. And they could hack into you and listen to you is the
Yep.
ultimate their ultimate goal, and they've already reached their ultimate goal of hacking into us, and they make a mess of your life, man. These motherfuckers, got it to where I'm barely visiting my children. I'm barely talking to my children. I'm in the same state as them. I wasn't in the same state as them for over 10 years. And I came back to reunite with them 2 years ago. And when I got here to Ohio, I was basically greeted by their mother with tactics of gang stalking. And, she even told me out of her own mouth, bro. She told me out of her own mouth that she went to file child support on me, and she was approached at the courthouse by somebody that told her, or an agent that told her I was on a list. She told me that she was approached by an agent that told her I was on a list, bro.
Wow.
She says this happened in 2018
And somebody told her you were on a list. You know,
on a
that's
list.
weird because my wife sent me a video about community policing and what it was. And under the video, she said, I did this to you. Well, I went to show my friend that she had texted me that video and said, I did this to you. That's what made me realize what targeting was. I thought I was tripping. I'm like, man, all these people doing this and all this stuff. And then I get this message and I watch this video and explain exactly what's going on. Well, I went to show my friend and the whole text was gone. They erased the text. But she sent that video to me, James Harkin, Community Policing.
That's
So it's like
crazy,
they
man.
send
Because,
people to us. Maybe they send people to us to tell us what's going on, just to make it overt and start the terror. Because once you know, it makes you even more tripped out. You know what I'm saying?
bro, she told me recently in another text message. We were texting each other because she was supposed to have my son call me. She was supposed to have my sons call me, and on the days that they were supposed to call me, she texted me at 9:30, which is my birthday. 9:30 is also my birthday. She texted me to tell me something about she told something about them not calling me, basically. I was just sending the message like, hey, what's going on? I haven't heard from my sons. But the whole exchange turned into her telling me she's doing witchcraft on me and that they can hear all my thoughts.
Oh, she told you that?
She told me that shit, bro. And I actually have that text message saved. It's on my YouTube, but I got it privated. But I'm gonna show it to you. But this is a perfect example of a honeypot going full perp.
Yeah. Now,
She's
witchcraft only
totally
has power.
gaslighting me.
Witchcraft only has power over you if you believe it. Like if she tells you you got witchcraft and you sit there and obsess over, man, I'm doomed, I'm doomed. But if you say, man, I plead the blood of Jesus over me, I cancel out any witchcraft in the name of Jesus and forget about it, it ain't got no power over you. I mean, that's just the way I believe. You know, I've had people try to do that stuff on me, and I just don't try not to give it no thoughts, because when you give it thought, you give it energy, and that's what makes the whole witchcraft thing work.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Like, it has something to do with blood. I know that much. They do a lot of blood magic and shit, and they try to put these spells on you, man. And I don't know about the Jesus part, man, but I know about the Hawaiian ancestry. They use Ho'oponopono. Have you ever heard of Ho'oponopono?
Mm-mm. Uh-uh.
That's like another that's like an anti-black magic. Like, it's like a
Okay.
forgive me, I love you type mantra,
Right.
and it's supposed to be real. It's real powerful.
I believe it. Yeah, because I'm not one of them Christians that's closed-minded to everything. I'm a very open-minded person. So, I know there's other things that you could utilize as well. Um,
Yo, I have a story about Christianity and the church, bro, because that's been a part of my experience too, is that my father became religious. Well, he went back to church when I was about 7, 8 years old. And up until that point, I had been totally raised without being in the church. And I was pretty much a hood baby. And when he started going to church, it was just a whole different. experience. And when I grew up, I started to read about the religion and the history of Christianity and where it came from, who wrote the Bible and shit like that. I was looking for that information, and it just when I found out about the Council of Nicaea, the Council of Nicaea is they invented Christianity.
They cut the books out of the Bible. You know, I read every book in the Bible.
Right.
You know, you got the lost books of the Bible too.
Yeah, yeah,
The Council
yeah.
of Nicaea picked which books they wanted to put in there and left the other ones out. Yeah.
Right.
But like you got the Ethiopian Bible, and you know, there's Bibles that were around right way before the Council of Nicaea, that's got all the books in it. But anyway, we ain't
Yeah,
gonna
man.
talk about
There's so many
religion, but
books. Well, it impacted me because I feel like it's a part of my targeting. I feel like I'm being targeted by religious people
oh,
because I
okay,
grew
yeah.
up in that, and my father,
Yeah, the
yeah, my
churches were
father
involved
became
in
a
mine.
preacher. Yeah, my dad became a preacher, man, and like I believe he got connections with a whole lot of these gang stalkers, man. And there was an Air Force dude, a colonel, who was related to a church member. And I remember my dad used to have these conversations with this guy, and I never knew what they were talking about. But I believe that my dad has connections with these gang stalkers all the way up to the top levels of the military. And they've been using my brain as an example for their program of how they want to do the brain initiative and all that shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been one of the brains that the military has been closely studying so they can do whatever the hell their plans are. And I feel like my pops is in on that shit, bro. And like he won't admit it, but I've seen all the signs, man. Because I stayed away from. I went no contact with my family for about 8 years. I went no contact with my parents for about 8 years. And when I came back, they were showing me gang stalking. They were showing me over gang stalking, and they were showing me gaslighting. And I'm just like, I know y'all not just acting like this out of nowhere. This is something that y'all have been trained to do. This is not something that you guys are just, this is not your natural behavior, mom and dad.
See, and that's what I can't figure out either. Like my parents are involved, you know, my mom's involved. I wonder why they do it. Do you have any idea why they would do it? Are you, unless it's smear campaigns, huh?
Man, I feel as though I, my dad might have been a TI. I feel like he might have been a TI. He was in the army. He might have offloaded his targeting onto me as a deal.
Right.
And you could never get anybody to admit anything like that. But my experiences with my father as a child was that he was crazy. I felt like my father was crazy when I was a little kid.
Wow.
He used to slap me upside. He used to slap me upside of my head. He used to beat me with a belt, and he never made me feel like he was there to protect me. I always felt like he was there to hurt me
Yep. Same with
as a
my
kid.
dad. Wow.
So it got deep. That's where it gets really deep at for me is that I have a deep like negative memory chain with my father. And as I grew up, I was forced to just basically get over it. And me and him never had a meeting of the minds about how I felt, how he made me feel, and how he acted towards me as when I was a kid. Like we never had that meeting of the minds about that, even since I've been grown, because these people come from that mindset where the kids is just the kids, and you ain't supposed to question your parents, and whatever they do is what it is, and that's it. You know.
There has to be smear
So
campaigns involved because, like I said, when I was in New
yeah,
Orleans, you know where the
definitely.
Rebuild Center is in New Orleans, the Rebuild? it's a Catholic church, and in the back of it, they serve breakfast and lunch. You can get food stamps. They got showers right there. Well, I went there to get
No,
free
I haven't.
shoes in New Orleans in 2018. They were giving out free shoes at a certain time every week and good shoes. So I went to get some, and the dude whispers in my ear. He says, "Look, I can't give you nothing. You come back at such time when nobody's around, I'll give you a brand new pair of New Balance. But I've been told not to give you nothing." So I went back at that certain time, and he's like, "Here, take the shoes and get out of here." He's like, "I'm not supposed to give you nothing. That's all I can tell you. Have a nice day." And he blessed me with a new pair of New Balances. But I want to know what he was told. You know what I'm saying? I would give anything to know what that dude was told. I can't hear you. You're muted. There should be a microphone in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, it was my phone ringing.
Okay. Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
I'd love to know what that man had been told.
yeah, I want to know what the hell my smear campaign is. I believe it's something with sex with me. It's something to do with sex with me, bro. They're smearing me about sex is what I believe, because that's the hints that I've gotten from certain perps when I was in California. But overall, I haven't heard any direct information on what my smear campaign is. Um, but if it's coming from the federal government, if it's coming from the feds, and they've been Truman showing me, if they've been doing a Truman show on me, it could be any goddamn thing. Because I know damn well I'm not perfect.
You were a very family oriented person, like with nieces and nephews and
Yeah,
close to everybody. Could you explain like
yeah.
your isolation and how it is now and how it used to be non-existence? You know what I'm talking about?
Man, the way it is, it's just basically last time I was home to see my family after not seeing no anybody for years, they were all gang stalking, bro. They were all gang stalking, cousins, aunts. You know what I'm saying? It was my one cousin, my cousin Heavy. His name is they call him Heavy.
It's muted again. They keep muting your stuff.
I'm getting
They
phone calls all of a sudden. I'm getting phone calls all of a sudden from random numbers.
Oh yeah, that's what they do to try to keep this interview from going on.
Yeah, that's what they trying to do, man. But like, I, my family barely talks to me anymore, basically, and I can't. You know, when I was home, they were all gang stalking me. I felt like I shouldn't even go back home no more. You know, I'm isolated, man. Like it's real tough, man. Like I feel like I can't go on the internet and make new friends. Like say create an Instagram account. If I create an Instagram account on this clone phone, they're gonna be on my Instagram trying to smear me on Instagram or stop me from connecting with people on Instagram or any kind of site where you meet people. I feel
Right.
like they really all however they do it, they contact motherfuckers directly and tell them not to talk to you.
So you choose not to even take a chance, right?
Man,
I mean,
I
I've been there.
basically
I was there in 2018.
yeah,
I wouldn't take a chance with people because everybody was all setting me up.
yeah. I used to get on the dating sites. I used to get on all these websites, man. I used to have friends all over the world, bro. And this smear campaign is so direct and so real. Like I'm talking about in real time. I've met people on Beagle Live, for instance, on Beagle Live, and I'll be talking to this person on Beagle Live, and then by the third time I go to talk to them, they're acting weird. They're acting like they can't talk to me anymore.
Wow.
And it's just been over and over. And I've seen homeless people, bro. I have been gang stalked by homeless people while I was homeless.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
highly involved.
how do they get homeless people to do this shit?
The gift
And
cards
it
is
just
what I heard. No, a homeless
yeah,
person ain't got nothing. It wouldn't take $5 or $10 to get them to to do something crazy to you or gaslight you.
Man, I'm talking about homeless veterans that were staying at the veterans village with me, gang stalking. I'm just like, how the fuck how does everybody have a bad word on me?
And
How does everybody got a bad word?
do they ever pull any street theater on you?
Bruh, I could go outside right now and show you street theater right now on this live call.
Right. I believe you.
Like I could go out there right now, and those motherfuckers that I tell you about, they're out there right now.
Wow.
Like I could show you live gang stalking right now if I go outside, bro.
So you want me to show this thermal picture so you can explain what was going on in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Let's see. Uh, now there's the picture right there. That's the best I could get it to come up. So you can tell that. Oh, let's see if I can move it. Nope.
Are you able to rotate it to the left?
Hold on. I'm not
Or
really used to sharing
are
the
you able
screen.
to,
Anyway, that where the arrow is where your thermal. Well, the people were sitting in the car where your thermal imaging was, right?
right, right. And what you can see on that image is you can see a skeletal image of my head, and the bright square, the large bright square is my window, and the small bright object under that square is my phone in my hand.
Okay.
And I
Yeah, I
was
wish
able
it
to
would have came
barely,
through different, but yeah, I
yeah,
can see the phone. I can see what you're talking about, and that was right outside your window.
right outside of my window, man.
They're sitting in the car with a thermal, and you could see it better through the window though. You actually saw what was on the phone, right?
Right. Yeah, I was looking out the window and I saw that shit and I hurried up and recorded it. But did you see the video? I sent you the video of it.
The video would not play. Sometimes for some reason, when people send me videos to my phone, they won't play.
Oh,
I like
well, damn, the
my
video,
texting app. They got my text messed up where I can't get videos through text, and if I do, it's like 2 seconds and it ends.
even a YouTube video?
No, not a YouTube video. Why you got the YouTube video?
Yeah, I sent you a link to a YouTube video of that same image
Oh, I
when
must
I
never saw
actually
that.
recorded. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that was
must.
the first link I sent you. It was, but yeah, those motherfuckers are using thermal imaging on me in here, man, and they're hitting me with energy weapons.
Have you tried Mylar?
No,
Mylar, like
no, I haven't.
oh, okay. I get like five. See, thermal imaging cannot see through Mylar. So, you know, when you're in the forest and if you're on the run and they're using helicopters to trace you, you know what I'm saying? If you got
Yeah,
Mylar, this dude, I seen a video. If you got Mylar and cover yourself, the helicopter go right over you because it blocks all that heat. Do you know what Mylar is?
yeah. So it's a material shielding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can get like for $10, you can get like 12 packs. And it don't really work for shielding against weapons, but thermal imaging it will work against. So well, I got a messed up background. I was going to show you my windows are covered. Like I got 5 layers of Mylar stacked together and taped together on both of these windows in here.
No,
So
okay.
yeah, it will, but I've seen them test and it'll actually stop the thermal imaging where if you put it on all the windows, they won't be able to see what you're doing in the house.
Man, hey, what I want to do right now, bro, is I want to talk about all the people that I have met from in my past who I feel knew about this shit that was going on.
That's fine. Go ahead.
So the first person I want to call out is Ronell Norman, postal worker from the Air Force, who I know knows about this whole entire ordeal that I've been going through. He knows that the government has been reading my mind. He's been laughing at me in my face the whole time that I knew him. He was laughing at me about this shit, and I never knew what the source of his laughter was.
Right.
So I want to call out Ronell. I want to call out Ronell. I want to call out my kid's mother, Tanisha. I know she knows about this shit, and she knows what the government is trying to do to me, and she's not telling my children the truth. And I'm calling out my sister, LaShonda. She won't let me talk to my nieces and nephews no more. Her husband used to send me money. I went to jail and needed $200 for bail. She wouldn't send me bail. She don't look at me the same no more after this smear campaign. They're not telling me what's going on. I want to call out my cousin Heavy. I want to call out my cousin Levon. Levon turned on me. Soon as I told my aunt that I might stay at the trailer, he turned on me. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to tell her that. And he took me across the river. He took me across the river and gang stalked me with one of the other cousins from the other side of the family. You know, last time I seen him, it was my cousin Heavy told me. My cousin Heavy told me my mind was messed up. He hadn't seen me in 10 plus years, and he told me my mind was messed up the next time he saw me.
Wow.
So how you telling me my mind messed up, bro? Like, what are you talking about, man? What did I do to you? Where are you coming from with that shit, man? And he wouldn't tell me.
It's a
He
form
wouldn't
of
tell me.
gaslighting.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm calling out all my friends and family members who gaslit me over the years, and I didn't know what was going on. I have a friend, a former friend named Tarvez Jackson. He knows about it. He was in the Air Force with me. He was doing, his job was electronic warfare.
Wow.
Electronic warfare is what this is. This whole thing is electronic warfare,
Yep.
psychological warfare. So Tarvez, you know about this shit, bro. You was playing friend all these years. You was my friend, but now I found out you know about what's been going on. You know the government been reading my thoughts and broadcasting me and doing all types of shit to destroy my life. Um, all these people I'm naming, especially the ones that were in the Air Force with me, I know for a fact they participated in the smear campaign. I got other people that I thought were homies that were just perps, man. Christopher Sanders, Tyrone Johnson. The list is long, man, of people who I know were perps, man. And the guys, Christopher Sanders and Tyrone Johnson worked in the phone department of the Air Force. They worked in the telephone switch.
Okay.
And these guys, this guy, I met Chris in Korea. I met him in Korea, and the way he introduced himself to me was basically gang stalking me by clowning me, razzing me, and he didn't even know me from a can of paint. But he just started off clowning me and harassing me, like, and it just was like this weird tactic of trying to be friends. And I actually, I allowed this to happen because I couldn't fathom that this was some guy being sent to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm 19 years old in Korea, and I'm meeting random people, and I would never, you never would think that some guys are over there that have been assigned to you. These guys have been assigned to you. Like I never knew this government was running such a gag, man. It's like a human centipede. Like they always want somebody up your ass.
Yep. Do you experience direct energy weapon attacks or anything?
Yeah, remember I mentioned that a little while ago. How they
We
prep.
wasn't recording. That's why I'm asking
Oh
you
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get directed energy weapons that make me feel like somebody's pressing my skin, or it can feel like a pinprick in my toe or my leg. But it can almost feel like somebody's grabbing you sometime too.
Right. Right. And I've
Have you
heard
ever
other
felt
GIs
like it
talk
was
about
grabbing
that.
you? Yeah, like it's grabbing you or some shit, man.
Does it happen more at night when you're laying down or during the day or?
I recently I noticed that they have been targeting me in my sleep a lot. I've been feeling weird shit in my sleep a lot lately. And this is after I left the psych ward last month. I left the psych ward and came home and I was feeling good. I was really feeling good last time when I went to the psych ward and came back. And what they like to do is when you're getting into your deep sleep, your REM sleep,
Mm-hmm.
they'll make a noise. They'll make a noise just as you're getting into that REM sleep. Like they literally know when your heart rate is going down and you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
They did that shit to me. They did that shit to me one night, and my head started hurting. I got a headache from that shit, bro. I was going to sleep, and I was on the verge of getting into deep sleep, and then I hear boom, boom, fucking stomping from upstairs,
Wow. You
and it
got
made
noise
my head hurt.
campaigns.
They know when you're going to sleep, and they can make noise right while you're falling asleep, bro. Like it's fucking horrible, man.
What about V2K? Do you ever hear V2K? Do they do any V2K on you?
I believe I got V2K when I had my children. When my children were born, shortly after they were born, about 6 months after they were born, I started to hear these strange things in my head about my kids that I wasn't thinking of on my own. So I never said anything about this shit. I never ever told a single soul. And what I realized that they were doing was they were attacking my subconscious. They were attacking my subconscious about my children to destroy the relationship.
Right. And injecting thoughts into your mind.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And and imagine going through that while you know your kid's mother is a perp who's doing everything she can to stop your children from developing the way that they normally would.
Right. So do you how do you cope on a day-to-day basis? So if you was to tell if another target individual came around and was asking you advice, what advice would you give them on how to cope with this stuff?
The
Because you
biggest
know as
thing
well
is,
as I do, it takes a strong mind to cope with this stuff, and everybody's got their own ways to cope.
yeah, I use frequencies to cope. I use frequencies and Reiki healing. Have
Okay.
you heard of Reiki?
Yeah. Is that like
Yeah,
well, Reiki is reggae or Reiki?
no, no, Reiki, the energy
Oh,
healing.
okay. It's kind of like it's frequencies you play on like YouTube and stuff.
Right. I have channels on YouTube that I found to be very beneficial in helping your body to recover from what they're doing to us. Um, I can list the channels or whatever, but like basically I'm using frequencies and I'm using Reiki energy healings to survive this shit.
Right. Yeah, I listen to it's called hand pan music. I don't know if I sent that to you. I don't know if you saw it or not. Anyway, it helps with tinnitus and V2K.
No, I didn't see the hand pan music.
Oh, I must have sent it to somebody else. There's so many people. Anyway, I'll send it to you after this.
All
But
right, that's
yeah,
cool.
it's very, very calm and stuff. I listen to it every night when I go to sleep because I get V2K 24/7 right now. They're laughing in my head, like 5 or 6 voices right now, just laughing in my head, saying stupid stuff like this interview sucks. You're going to die. I've been dealing with it since 2015. So I've just learned how to turn it off and act like it's not there.
That's
But
tough, man. That's tough.
if I'm stressed out and start getting paranoid, it will ag the paranoia on, and if I'm not careful, I'll find myself reacting in a bad way towards the V2K.
Yeah, while you were talking, my leg just started twitching. Like my top of my thigh just started twitching. They just used it on me, just now. Like my leg will start twitching, or my arm muscle, like my bicep or tricep will start twitching when they use that
Yep.
energy weapon.
Yep. They do that to my girlfriend so bad. Like I'll sit there and with two hands holding her leg straight and massaging it, and it just goes stiff, jerking and stuff. It happens like 5 or 10 minutes at a time, and it hurts her bad.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't feel pain from the muscle twitching. It's just if they do the pinprick, that's when I feel some kind of pain. And I
And
noticed that I don't get the sweating anymore. I don't get the super hot sweating like I was in California.
right. Uh, have you experienced a honey pot? Could you explain the situation? Like, a honey pot, somebody who comes in and tries to be with you just to talk to your handlers and give them information and be a part of your targeting.
Hell yeah, I experienced a honeypot, bro. I feel like the fucking Air Force was a honeypot, bro.
Right.
The Air Force itself was a big ass honeypot, bro. But other than that, I have experienced direct female honeypots. They sent me like two honeypots in 2020 in California. They sent me two of those. I think my kid's mother's a honeypot. She
Could you
works with the
tell me
stalkers.
could you explain what they did to make you think they're a honey pot?
Well, my kid's mother, bro, like I feel like she's always been a honeypot from the beginning.
Oh yeah, she's the
Um,
one that told you you're on a list, right?
right, yeah, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yeah.
So she been a honeypot from the beginning, man, and she reestablished her honeypot role 2 years ago when I came to reunite with my sons up here in Ohio. I came over here to reunite with them, and the first thing that happened was she told me that I could stay at her house by myself that first night I came into town because the kids weren't going to be there. I'm
Right.
like, yo, so you're letting me stay in the house by myself while nobody else is there, and the kids are going to arrive in the morning. And I found out later that the reason they did it that way was because they wanted to make the kids show up. And when I look out the window, they wanted me to see the door fly open for some gang stalking shit.
Right.
They they used the car door to open the car door towards you as a sign of pointing at you.
Right.
Do you know about that?
I didn't, but everybody's target is different. So, you know,
Yeah, they fucking use cars when they're playing like they're digging in the car or something. All they're doing is pointing the doors in your direction or pointing the trunk in your direction when they open it. And then when you leave, they hurry up and they go and close it and shit. It's all an act. It's the
yeah.
street
Now
theater
listen,
with the car is an act.
what you said digging in the car, and I got videos, and one day I'm gonna get on here and just show all my videos and tell what's going on. But because I got cameras around the house. Anyway, they'll pull up right in front of my driveway, or they'll pull in the driveway. Then they'll get out of their front seat. They'll go around to the other side in the back seat, dig around, acting like they're doing something. Then they'll go back to the driver's side of the seat and dig around there, and then they'll go back to this. And that happens more than 3 or 4 times a week. Come on, man, what are you doing? So I guess,
Yeah,
man, I don't know what
yeah.
they're doing, but it's like they're
Bro, it's nothing but street theater, and they're using that vehicle as an excuse to stalk you. And they point the doors at you. They'll sit there and wait till you pass by to open that door or whatever they're doing. Or if you're inside and they're outside, they just keep on digging in the shit, acting like they doing something. I've seen this shit so many times. I'm like, damn, bro. So y'all really just expect people to play along with y'all. They want us to play along with
right. Have they ever tried to mind control you to do something towards somebody like me? Like I was mad and I was gonna go to a Greyhound and do something one time, and I'm glad I didn't, and I would never do that, and I don't promote that, and anybody who watches my channel knows I don't promote it. But yeah, they had me so upset and stuff that I was gonna go do something one time, but I didn't do it, and I'm glad I didn't, and I wouldn't do it no more. But I'm saying, do you feel like they ever try to do that? Kind of like a Manchurian candidate kind of thing? Like Robert Card when he went off in Maine on people and stuff like that. You got to be strong, like make you want to snap on a gang stalker, stuff like that. They do that to me all the time anyway, but I'm strong enough to know, look, violence isn't the answer. It's only going to make you end up dead or make the smear campaigns look even worse on you if you snap on somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I've resisted the urge. I've resisted the the knee jerk reactions that they want to get from us. I resisted that shit to the best of my ability. Um, it was I came real close a couple times, man. I had a bat. I was about to go outside with a baseball bat one day and hit these perps that was hanging out outside my apartment in California. These guys were posted in the apartment beneath me, and they were always hanging out outside around out back and shit, man, where I could see them out of my window. They were using an energy weapon on me. They could hear everything I was saying. They was there every day. Like, who the fuck has company at their house every single day, bro?
Right.
And they like to post up they use these really, they use these scumbag people who come from the bottom of the totem pole. These people been in jail. These people been ran through the ringer. And these motherfuckers are gang stalkers, bro. They got heavy, they using super equipment. And you wouldn't think these people was anything more than a crackhead.
Right.
And they're
I
sitting
guess
there with
that's the
a
easiest
phone.
people to be bought off, though. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I can't believe the kind of people that they use for this shit, and they really are able to keep this shit a secret, man.
But what I think? I think these perks are being used up. One day they're going to become TIs because their gig will be up, and then they know too much, so they'll become a TI. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they already TIs because the shit they doing, they have to be monitored just as much as us.
Right.
They have to be monitored. Everything they doing is being seen and monitored. So they're fucking slaves, bro. They're literally slaves. I'm free, but they're trying to enslave my brain, and they're making money off my thoughts and actions. So they're enslaving me as well, but I can move and do what I want to do, except it's gonna be with all those motherfuckers in tow.
Right. Do you feel like they do voyeurism? Like when you're remote neural monitoring, do you feel like people be watching you and stuff through your eyes and stuff like that? Uh, the technology is there if they tap in your visual cortex to see through your eyes. Uh, but do you ever feel like you're being watched from like voyeurism, like dark web, like let's watch what he's doing today. Let's watch him go through a bad day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what they were doing to me in California. Bro, when I tell you the entire city was stalking me,
I believe you.
I'm
I've
in
been there.
the entire fucking city, dog. And that's a big city. And I was going to, yo, I made that city into my oyster, bro, because I was going around on my scooters and electric bikes and shit, man. I was making small work of that city by being everywhere. I was and I never knew how they could turn that around on me, man. I felt so great. I felt so good being out there in California. And they weaponized the whole city against me, bro.
Yeah, I've dealt with that. I dealt with that in Pensacola, New Orleans, shoot, Des Moines, Iowa, plenty of cities I've dealt with that. And when you tell somebody the whole city, people are like, "Come on, man, that's impossible." It's not impossible, man. I mean, the whole Denver airport, the whole Memphis airport, and people can say what they want. Word travels fast, and these people do participate in groves.
Hell yeah, they do, man. And they must be paying good money to do this shit.
Or it's
They
mind
must be
control.
paying.
Maybe they got some kind of beam they can point at somebody and mind control a whole crowd against you. You never know.
I don't know about that, man. That's a tough one to think of.
Because if you watch my video I did on Operation Crimson Mist, it was a thing they did in Rwanda.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
know about that.
yeah. They mind
I
control
know about
everybody
it.
against each other and caused a civil war in Rwanda.
I was just thinking about Crimson Mist this morning, man. I feel like that they're definitely using type of that level of frequency on people.
Yeah. Uh, Let me see. That's really about all of the questions I had. Do you got anything you want to add or talk about? Feel free to say it. We got some time if you want to talk about anything.
Yeah, I want to talk about how the police have been trying to force me into the psych ward since 2023. On March 13th, 2023, I was taken from the shelter house, homeless shelter in Cincinnati by police to go to psychological evaluation at Cincinnati Hospital, University of Cincinnati Hospital. And I was literally taken there for no reason, bro. I was outside of the shelter across the street in a truck. I was in the back of a truck in an 18-wheeler, in the back of an 18-wheeler, but like it was just a stationary car there. It wasn't moving. So I'm sitting back there smoking, and I noticed that this gang stalker person shows up in front of the truck, and I go to the end of the truck and I started screaming like, "Get the fuck away from me! Get the fuck away from me!" So later on that afternoon, I'm in the shelter and the police show up to come. And one of the shelter staff come and tell me I'm kicked out of the shelter. And I'm like, what the fuck you kicking me out for? I didn't do anything. And they couldn't even explain why I was kicked out of the shelter. They said I was yelling at staff, and I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? I was across the street. I wasn't in here. And I was refusing to leave the shelter, man, because it was going to be cold as shit that night. They called the police, and the police brought the evaluation girl to come and evaluate me to see if I needed to go to the PES. She didn't even fucking talk to me, bro. And the first thing she does is says, "Hey, yeah, take him to PES." So I'm like, I'm seeing the real agenda in real time of police trying to force people into psych wards because they're being targeted. And I just wanted to highlight the fact that the police have been actively trying to push me and force me into psych wards with no reason. That was the second time they did the shit was June 21st, 2023. And they had sent somebody to the store. They had employees at the Speedway in Cincinnati. One of the speedways in Cincinnati, they had the employee pulling up in a red car. Every time I went there, they had one of their employees pulling up in a red car. So the final time this happened, I went in there, they pull up in a red car, they make the person that's at the counter leave so they can come in there. And when I went to the counter, I asked, why did y'all just switch out in the middle of the shift? Like, why y'all switching out? Bro, they called the police on me because I asked them why they did that shit, bro. I left the store after they told me I couldn't buy what I wanted to buy. I left the store with what I wanted to buy, even though I didn't pay for it because they didn't want to take my money. I'm walking down the street. This officer Lee from Woodlawn Police Department in Cincinnati, he's been stalking me. He made it clear that he was stalking me. Dude came and forced me to go to psychological eval again, bro, for asking a question.
Wow.
I've been taking a psychological eval 3 different times by on false pretenses by police in the
Man, I
last
thought it
year.
had to be suicide or homicidal to go to a mental hospital. I guess not, huh?
Dog, these motherfuckers been abusing me in Cincinnati, bro, and I really want revenge. I want justice. I made complaints to the Citizens Complaint Board about the Cincinnati police, and I'm waiting for several complaints to come back. Like, I've been at war with law enforcement about this shit because law enforcement are the main linchpins of this program. Without law enforcement participating in this shit, they wouldn't be able to do anything to us, bro. And
Right.
I'm
Do they
I'm
know
just
you're a
I'm
vet?
yeah, they know I'm a vet.
Wow.
They
See,
know they
you
know I'm
think
a
you
vet.
get a little bit more respect. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, when they got a line on you, when they got this type of technology over you, they feel like they're better than you no matter who you are, bro. They feel like you're a piece of shit because they got information on you.
Right. Then you got people who were vets that were willing to fight for this country and do all that and give their lives and now you got people crossing the border that's getting treated a lot better than the vets, you know what I'm saying, that were willing to lay down their lives for this country. It just don't make sense. It's
Man,
backwards.
I just heard that those fucking migrants are getting $4,000 in cash and like $10,000 in fucking food stamps.
Yes, I seen a food stamp receipt and I know it was legit the other day. This woman, this migrant left their food stamp receipt in the store and somebody picked it up and took a picture, a real receipt, no Photoshop. You know, if you get food stamps, you know the food stamp balance is on your card when you buy
Right.
something.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
$13,261 balance on a food stamp card. Where did you ever heard that before?
Bro, that we as Americans should be in the streets about that. We should all be in the streets protesting, damn near rioting about that shit. Because that means this government has committed genocide by giving us a fraction of that kind of money, and we're the actual fucking people of this country.
Right. Well, you
This
know
has
the
been a genocide.
yeah. Yep. But I still think vets, y'all should be getting a lot better treatment than y'all do.
Yeah, man, it's a tragedy what they're doing to the veterans, man. And it's a tragedy that we can't get an actual government that actually gives a fuck about the people.
Right.
We got monsters. We got monsters pretending that they're government, bro. These are monsters. These motherfuckers ain't even Americans, bro. The American government is not even ran by Americans, bro. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing. That's why we're seeing a departure of against all rights. Like we barely even got First Amendment anymore.
Right. Yep.
I lost a YouTube channel over First Amendment in 2020. I was the
Oh,
first nonconformist on Google and on YouTube. I was the first nonconformist that had the name nonconformist, and they fucking deleted me in 2020 off YouTube
wow.
for for my opinions about the election.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. They say that, yeah, they got me oh yeah, I was suspended for a week for sharing a video that I got off YouTube. All right, I uploaded a video, I downloaded it off YouTube, right? And uploaded it on my channel, and they suspended me saying it was medical misinformation. Like there's a certain word you can't talk about, like that word. But anyway,
Yeah,
so apparently he said that in there, and so I didn't listen to it. Usually I listen before I put a video up. If I'm gonna put somebody else's video, I listen all the way through the whole video to make sure they don't say nothing like that. But I was like, well, I got it off YouTube, so they're not gonna ban me. Sure enough, they banned me for a week from a
yeah.
video that's on YouTube right now. I can give you the link to the video right now. It's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I thought you was bullshitting, man. I was like, man, this nigga a perp, man. He's lying. What the fuck,
Ah.
man?
Yeah. No, I wasn't lying.
Well, I'm glad you wasn't lying, man, because you know I've been through the ringer with these perps, bro. I've been through the fucking ringer with these perps. My kid's mother's a perp. You know, I feel like my dad is a perp, bro. So my shit is very deep. This is very hurtful to me that's going on. Um, I just can't I can't believe that God made us hackable, that we can be hacked.
Right. Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow. Was there anything else you want to say?
Man, I just want to shout out to all the real targeted individuals in the world, and I just want to send some love to all the real targeted people. And I just want to apologize to anybody that I have actually hurt in my life, and especially my kids. And I just want to say fuck you to all the perps who knew that the government was reading my mind and broadcasting my life, my thoughts. I just want to say fuck you to everybody who know that shit, who knew that about me, who knew that was going on, and you went along with that. I just want to say fuck you.
Right. And that's all?
That's all, man.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording and then we can hold on. Stop there. I just want to thank you for coming out and being courageous about talking about this, man. And I'm gonna stop the recording now.